AITA for walking away from my 13-year marriage because of my in-laws. My name is Serafina. I'm 38, and I find myself in a situation that feels like a twisted, modern-day fairy tale. Except I'm the one trapped in the tower, not the damsel waiting for rescue. I've built a successful architectural restoration firm, a testament to my dedication and a symbol of my independence. My husband, Caspian, 40, is a kind, artistically inclined man, but he's perpetually tethered to his family, the Thornwoods. The Thornwoods are a picture of old-world charm masking a deeply entrenched sense of entitlement. They're wealthy, traditional, and possess a rigid view of how life should be lived. I, with my modern views and independent spirit, have always been an anomaly in their eyes. They view my success as a disruption, a challenge to their carefully crafted world of tradition and hierarchy. From the moment Caspian and I became serious, they've subtly undermined my confidence and our relationship. His mother, Isolde, is a master of the veiled insult, always suggesting my work is too demanding for a wife and that Caspian deserves more attention. His father, Theron, is more direct, often questioning my financial decisions and implying Caspian should guide me. And Caspian? He's always the mediator, the peacekeeper, never truly standing up for me. His younger sister, Rowena, is a constant source of drama. She treats Caspian like her personal errand boy and bank, constantly demanding his time and money for her latest whims. He, in his desire to avoid conflict, always acquiesces. We've been married for 13 years. 13 years of subtle jabs, of financial strain, of Caspian's inability to set boundaries. I've tried to communicate, to explain how their behavior erodes our relationship, but he always retreats, claiming I'm overreacting or that they mean well. The final straw came during the Thornwoods' annual summer gala. It's a lavish affair, a display of their wealth and social standing, and I've always felt like a fish out of water. During a particularly uncomfortable dinner, Isolde made a toast, praising Caspian for his loyalty and dedication to his family. Then, she turned to me, her eyes sharp, and said, "Serafina, we admire your endeavors. But remember, a woman's true strength lies in her ability to nurture her family." The implication was clear. My career was secondary, a mere hobby, and my primary role was to cater to Caspian and his family. I felt a surge of anger, a burning resentment that had been simmering for years. I looked at Caspian, expecting him to finally defend me. But he just sat there, his face flushed, his eyes filled with a familiar, apologetic look. That night, I told him I was leaving. "I can't live like this anymore, Caspian," I said, my voice trembling but firm. "I can't live in a world where I'm constantly being judged and belittled by your family. I can't live with you always choosing them over me." He was devastated, pleading with me to reconsider. He promised to change, to finally set boundaries. But I knew it was too late. The years of resentment had built an insurmountable wall between us. I packed my belongings and moved into a rented apartment. I filed for separation, and the divorce proceedings are underway. It's going to be a long and arduous process, but I'm determined to build a life where I'm valued and respected. I deserve better, and so does Caspian, but he's too afraid to break free. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for walking away from a 13-year marriage because my husband's family treats me like an outsider? Am I being unreasonable? Or am I finally prioritizing my own well-being? Update. It's been 3 months. It feels like both an eternity and a blink of an eye. Thank you all for your overwhelming support on my original post. It gave me the validation I desperately needed and the strength to navigate this turbulent period. The divorce proceedings are, as expected, a battleground. Caspian, bless his heart, is still caught in the crossfire. He wants to reconcile, he says, but he can't seem to sever the invisible threads that bind him to his family. He's a master of "I'll talk to them," which translates to nothing changing. The Thornwoods, predictably, have launched a full-scale character assassination campaign. They've painted me as a gold-digging shrew, a heartless woman who abandoned her devoted husband. Isolde has been particularly vicious, spreading rumors among our mutual acquaintances and trying to isolate me. Theron, meanwhile, has attempted to intimidate me, suggesting I'll regret my decision. My lawyer, a formidable woman named Vivian, yes, I know, the irony isn't lost on me, has been a shield against their vitriol. She's handling everything with a calm efficiency that I deeply admire. Financially, it's a mess. They're contesting everything, claiming I'm trying to steal their family's wealth. They seem to forget I built my firm from the ground up and that my success is my own. The prenuptial agreement is being dragged through the mud, and they're attempting to portray me as manipulative. Emotionally, it's been a roller coaster. There are days I second-guess myself, wondering if I'm throwing away 13 years for something that could have been fixed. Then I remember the years of subtle insults, of being made to feel like an outsider, and I know I made the right decision. I focused on rebuilding my life. I reconnected with old friends, thrown myself into my work, and started therapy. It's been a slow, painful process, but I'm beginning to feel like myself again. An unexpected development has been Rowena. She's reached out, surprisingly contrite. She admitted she'd always envied my independence, and that my leaving had forced her to reevaluate her own life. She's even started to set boundaries with her parents, which has caused quite a stir in the Thornwood household. I'm starting to see a glimmer of hope, a sense of a future that's mine alone. It's not easy, and the legal battles are far from over. But I'm learning to rely on myself, to trust my instincts. Update 2. It feels like I've lived a lifetime in this half year. I wanted to give you all a more substantial update, and honestly, the landscape has shifted significantly. The divorce proceedings are still ongoing, but the tide has turned. The Thornwood's initial onslaught has waned, replaced by a sort of cold, calculated silence. Their legal team, realizing their initial tactics weren't working, has shifted to a strategy of attrition, hoping I'll simply give up. Vivian, my lawyer, has been an absolute force of nature. She's meticulously countered every legal maneuver, every attempt to delay or obfuscate. She's also been a source of unwavering emotional support, reminding me that I'm not alone in this fight. Financially, things are complex. They've tried to paint me as a gold digger, but my business records and prenuptial agreement have proven otherwise. The judge, thankfully, isn't buying their narrative. They're now trying to negotiate, offering an insulting settlement, but I'm holding firm. I'm not backing down. Emotionally, I'm in a much better place. Therapy has been instrumental in helping me process the years of emotional manipulation and gaslighting. I'm learning to set boundaries, to prioritize my own needs, to trust my instincts. I'm also rediscovering myself, the woman I was before I became entangled in the Thornwood's world. Rowena, surprisingly, has become a genuine ally. She's continued to distance herself from her parents, and she's even started her own business, a small design firm. She's found a sense of independence that I think she's been craving for years. We've become close, a friendship I never expected. Caspian, he's still in limbo. He's tried to reach out, to apologize, to promise change. But the truth is I don't recognize him anymore. He's become so enmeshed in his family's expectations that he's lost himself. I made it clear that reconciliation is not an option, and I've asked him to respect my boundaries. The biggest development, however, is a new relationship. Someone I met through my therapy group, a warm and kind woman named Alara. She's been through her share of toxic family dynamics, and she understands what I've been through. We've been taking things slow, but it feels right. It feels like I'm finally building a life based on mutual respect and genuine connection. The Thornwoods, of course, are not happy. They view Alara as another example of my rebellious nature, but their opinions no longer hold any weight. I'm finally living my life on my terms, and it feels liberating. Thank you all for your continued support. I'm finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Final update. It's hard to believe it's been a full year since I first came to you all, a year of upheaval, of pain, and ultimately of profound growth. I wanted to give you all a final update, a sense of closure, and to share the joy that has finally found its way into my life. The divorce is finalized. It was a long, drawn-out battle, but Vivian, my incredible lawyer, fought tooth and nail for me. In the end, the judge ruled in my favor. I received a fair settlement, And more importantly, I walked away with my dignity intact. The Thornwoods, predictably, were furious, but their opinions no longer hold any power over me. Caspian has finally started to make some changes. He's distanced himself from his parents, and he's even started his own art studio, something he'd always dreamed of but never had the courage to pursue. He's still struggling with the fallout from the divorce, but he's taking steps towards independence, and for that, I'm genuinely happy for him. Rowena and I have become close friends. She's thriving in her new business, and she's found a sense of self-worth that was previously absent. She's become a confidant, a source of unwavering support, and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, beautiful friendships can blossom. And then there's Alara. She's become my anchor, my safe harbor. Our relationship has deepened, and we've built a life together, a life filled with love, laughter, and mutual respect. She understands me in a way that no one ever has, and she celebrates my strength and independence rather than trying to diminish them. The Thornwoods, in their infinite wisdom, try to sabotage my relationship with Alara. They've spread rumors, attempted to isolate her, and even tried to involve her family. But Alara simply laughed it off. She sees them for what they are, insecure and desperate. The biggest news, however, is that Alara and I are engaged. We're planning a small, intimate ceremony surrounded by our chosen family, the friends who stood by me during my darkest hours. It will be a celebration of love, of resilience, and of finally finding my happily ever after. Looking back, I realized that the divorce, while painful, was the catalyst for profound change. It forced me to confront my insecurities, to set boundaries, and to prioritize my well-being. It taught me that I am stronger than I ever thought I was, and that I deserve to be loved and respected. To all of you who shared your stories, who offered words of encouragement, and who reminded me that I wasn't alone, thank you. You gave me the strength to walk away from a toxic situation and to build a life that's truly mine. This is my final update. I'm closing this chapter of my life, a chapter filled with pain and growth. I'm moving forward, hand in hand with Alara, into a future filled with love and joy. Thank you all for being a part of my journey.